and welcome to the National Baseball League. So, here are the games for yesterday. I already recorded this once and then the camera decided, no, I'm just going to go, So this is the second time we're filming this. Here's board 1 of 2. So we'll start with the Vancouver Grizzlies and the Minnesota Northern Lights. So, top to bottom, left to right as usual. So, Grizzlies, after winning game 1, they get shut out 9-0 in game 2 of this series. Seven hits in an error, can't bring a single run home. 11 hits for the Northern Lights, and 9 runs scored. So Minnesota doing a great job taking advantage. Grizzlies, maybe a hangover, I don't know. Series tied at 1, then we had 2. This is 10. This is 10, not 1. Don't be confused. 1-0. I don't know what happened. Did I make a mistake? I don't know, but otherwise, so 9 runs on 10 hits for the Orlando Sunrays in the Battle of Florida. Sunrays win 9-7 on 10 hits, 9 runs scored. 10 hits, 7 runs on 8 hits scored. And 7 runs on 8 hits. 7 runs scored on 8 hits. That's what I meant to say. Pretty close game. Sunrays come out on top. They lead the series 1-0. Then we had Boston to host the New Orleans Gators. And the Whalers, they need to build around. They have the best player in baseball on their team, Shohei Ohtani. They need to build the team around it. They're still winning a lot, but I just wonder about how do they become the Dodgers? If they can become the NBL Dodgers, that would be something. But the losers came 5-2 to the Gators. 7 hits for New Orleans, 5 hits for Boston. Gators laid 1-0. Then we had Albuquerque, the Aliens and the Texas Twisters. They just keep winning. Pretty close game. Aliens coming out on top. 8 runs on 9 hits. Probably an extra innings game, or at least the bottom of the 9th. 7 runs on 7 hits. But an error for the Twisters. They just not enough hits to win. No more offense would help, and maybe better pitching, better defense would also help too. But Albuquerque, they just keep winning. I don't know how you stop this team. In the middle row, the Detroit Motors and the Utah Raptors. So Motors, well, Utah won the first game. It wasn't a shutout, but they won 4-2, and then similar to here, just a complete reversal. See, Motors shut them out 7-0, 3 hits allowed, and the Raptors did make an error, contributing to the Motors' dominance. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Motors. And more games like this the Motors have, where they just don't give them anything and allow them to win more. Then we had the Vegas and Houston. So the Gamblers and the Cosmos here. Houston won the first series. Vegas won the second series. Houston won the first game of the series 2 days ago. Then yesterday, Vegas with a really close win. This game's Houston. They get 6 hits and an error. Meanwhile, their opponent gets 3 hits and an error. Despite having double the amount of hits, they still lose the game 4-3. So that probably points to like defensive errors and all that. Bad defense, bad fielding. Got to work on. You can, especially in like playoff moments. If you struggle to perform like under pressure, or you can't struggle to make even basic plays in like important moments, like throw it first and then you'll throw it up high or something. Rangers, I'm looking at you, Texas Rangers. You know the play. You know that if you know baseball, if you follow it like closely. Remember that game, the Giants and the Rangers. Okay, enough of me going on in a week, but that game was pretty cool. When Helio Ramos had the Little League walk-off. Houston might be like that. I would not, from a Houston perspective, that would be bad. Series tied at 1, then we had Washington and Cincinnati. So the Monuments able to steal game 1 of this series with a 4-3 victory in a very close matchup. 8 hits for Cincy's, just 7 hits for the Monuments, but the Monuments still win the game. No errors in the ball game. So it's gonna be. I just want to see how game 2. Will Cincinnati tie the series? What's gonna happen? Because they seem to win enough, almost like the Red. They seem to win enough, but never enough to be good. Almost. So then we had to the Battle of California, San Diego and Oakland. With the sense that it looks like San Diego should have scored more, but for Oakland, they had every chance to shut down the Seals, and they still lose the game. 3 errors. 3 errors committed. They had problems in game 1 of this series. They were up 5-2 and they blew it. But the only thing is, San Diego blew it even worse by taking the lead 6-5, and then they just basically gave up in the bottom of the 11th inning. They just gave up and said, let's not play baseball anymore. And then they proceeded to give up back, just get a guy on third base, sack flying, and the Ocean walked the game off to win 7-6. So they blew a 3-run lead in game 1. Then they have 3 errors in game 2. They need to get their stuff together. They did. At least they won the first game. We'll see how game 3 goes today. Then we head to Philadelphia and Portland in the bottom row. Remember, this is just Portland 2. There's 3 more games after this that'll cover. Anchors win 5-3. Philadelphia seems to be a struggle with pitching here. They gave up a little much. Also, maybe a little bit more offense would help. So Anchors take this one 5-3, and they'll lead the series 1-0. Then we head to the Atlanta Arrows and Toronto Huskies. Huskies won game 1 11-2. It's a good way for the Arrows to respond back. A 3-2 defeat in a very close game. 8 hits both teams. Arrows, they come in an error, but they're still able to win 3-2 to tie the series 1-0 apiece. Then we had Columbus and New York. Almost like Oakland, Columbus. Oh my. They made me think they were going to blow it. So on the first pitch, top of the 9th inning, I was covering this one. First pitch, Corey Seager. Absolute bomb. It's a 1-run game, but then Columbus, they just shut the door after that and didn't allow a thing. And they held on to win 3-2. After previously leading 3-0, they were this close to blowing it. 5 runs apiece in this game. Aviators win 3-2. Then we head to the Firebirds of the Montreal Expos. Firebirds win 4-2 in a really close game. 9 hits, both teams. Good start for the Firebirds. See, can they follow up? On game 1 of this series, they lead 1-0. And we head to board number 2. Alright, so here's board number 2. So board number 2, the Memphis Blues and the Chicago Railers and the Seattle Sasquatch. This is the game I'm going to be covering today, so this is kind of like a way to almost set up how tonight's game will go. I'll be covering it 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Please tune in. You don't have to, but I'd like it if you tuned in. Listen to me ramble about whatever and baseball. Whatever, what the coolest game I've played in my free time. Because I've been playing a lot of games in my free time. I'll talk about that in the broadcast when I run out of things to talk about. Enough of me rambling again. I'm just going off tangents here. So, Chicago Railers and the Seattle Sasquatch. Really close game. This was actually I covered, they had like the 2-game opening series. I covered the first game of that. That was fun. And Chicago, they had a home run on the very first pitch of the season. And then they didn't do anything offensively the rest of the ball game. Which is kind of funny to me. But start this series number 2 against the Seattle Sasquatch. It went 6-5 and probably extra innings. Really good game, really close game. We're going to see how game 2 goes. Because it's going to be almost maybe attention, maybe even a bit of a rivalry. Just these teams meet up so frequently. Chicago's at least early on in the season, they're meeting up frequently. Chicago wins 6-5, 11 hits for both teams. Seattle just not able to get it done in this ball game. Chicago, they do a great job. They get the win. Great job for the Chicago Railers. See what happens tonight. Then we move on to the Edmonton Eagles, hosting the first of a 3-game series against the New York Sailors, and they got plummeled. 8 hits to 2 errors for the Eagles. They do score 2 runs, but oh my, the pitching. It was bad. 14 hits, 10 runs for the Sailors. They gotta recover from. The Eagles usually are pretty good. This is odd. I want to see how the rest of the series goes on. Does Eagles pitching struggles continue, or is it just a one-off thing? We'll see. Sailors win 10-2 on 14 hits. Eagles 2 runs and 8 hits and 2 errors. So and can also improve their fielding a bit. Maybe that'll help. Going to the Memphis Blues and the St. Louis Stars final game for yesterday's recap of games. Blues win 4-1 on 5 hits. Stars have 6, but they can't bring runs, so gotta learn to bring your runners home. More base hits. They need that more base hits in succession, like multiple hits in a row. Because if you can't get your guys to hit home runs and stuff or doubles or triples, just make good contact multiple times in a row. That will eventually bring some runs home. Maybe that would help learning consistency, momentum. Maybe that would help them win. We'll see how the rest of the series goes. They lose this one 4-1 to the Memphis Blues. Blues did a good job. 4 runs, 5 hits. And that pretty much does it. We'll see ya tonight or tomorrow or whenever. Goodbye.